Video 10. October 15, 2010. Mythi, can you tell us more about the physical characteristics of the breeds you know? I'll give you a synopsis because the subject is too long. I will mention details of the most common races that I know, from the dimension in which we live. The races are mostly humanoid and non-humanoid. The humanoids are an absolute majority. We have a special department in the Community Galactica to address issues of relationships with non-humanoids. In humanoid species, some breeds have little beings who are approximate 1 foot in height and are proportional to us. They are very nice people. We have races of
Greys,
as you call them, with slender bodies and heads of higher proportion. And these races have different heights ranging from 0.50 m to 1.60 m. There are approximate 130 different races of humanoids with the characteristics of the
Greys.
These races are usually advanced and good-natured. Only some of its variations are warlike and troublesome. Some have large eyes and others, smaller eyes. The skin also varies from white to light brown. The eyes are not black or brown in some cases, but wear protective filters like contact lenses that automatically adjust to ambient light, providing good vision in either light or dark, and we also use them when necessary. Their eyes are like mine and are very sensitive. We have lost a bit of retraction capacity of the pupils due to hundreds of generations in environments with controlled lighting. Some of these races are trying to use genes of Earthlings to correct this degeneration of the muscles of the iris. There are several races of beings with tall and slender bodies and heads more in proportion, who move in gracefully smooth motion. They are developmentally far ahead and live in very advanced societies. They are called
Old Fathers.
They were responsible for the technological development of anti-carbon units that all use today. They almost never interfere with other races and are almost self-sufficient in everything they need. There are ancient races of humanoids who are large, 3.5 m tall, proportionate to your Earthling body, and they have already circulated a lot here in the old days. Some of these breeds have become extinct, and others are active in other galaxies in the universe. They are beings who socialize well with other breeds. There are many races just like yours, approximate 80 breeds, with similar hair and features as well, ranging approximate from 1.5 m to 2.0 m tall, and with different skin shades. Some far more advanced than you, others less. The less advanced have more body hair and are more hostile. They live, as you say, in the Stone Age. The most advanced will be put in contact with you as many beings of their civilizations should embody in the new age of Earth. These civilizations are very dynamic in the development. All ethnic groups that inhabit the Earth today originally came from these races throughout the universe. The Pleiadians are just like you. There are also breeds derived from marine mammals, which developed the same standards as we humanoids. Since these parallel developments took place millions of years ago, they are considered humanoids too. Some of these breeds are very technologically advanced and relate well with other races. The reptilians are not humanoids. They are descended from another line of development. Their body temperature is much lower than ours, which justifies why they enjoy hot places to live. There are approximate 20 species of them. Some reptilian breeds may also breathe underwater. Their skin is thick to keep its temperature and protects them from solar radiation. Their races vary in size from 1.7 m to 3.0 m tall. They are very smart, have lots of energy, and are physically strong. Technologically, they are not very bright, but they assimilate the knowledge of others very well. Finally, there are breeds that originated from strains of insects, with an external skeleton, which are difficult to deal with because their logical behavior is inherent to their characteristics. Their communities do not really take care of them in the cleanup, which makes them lousy hosts, if you need them. They do not make many contacts with humanoids or reptilians, only if absolutely necessary. They are intelligent and smart but have several limitations mainly related to any participation in joint activities with other beings. The lifestyle of these is unorthodox for humanoids. They are fast, agile, tough, and resilient. They can survive in very harsh environments. All races are completely free in their decisions and in their lifestyles. The Community Galactica is only a reference point for the seamless integration and harmonization of all interests. What about the animals that inhabit the planets of the universe? This is an issue for decades of research. There are millions of species of animals, mammals, reptiles, amphibians, birds, insects, and fish in the universe. Multiply what you have on Earth by 1,000, and this is still too little. Some are the size of a small ant, and others are larger than your largest vessels. It is a universe full of interesting and diverse life. Everything that you friends have here in terms of animal life exists elsewhere in the universe. When a species goes extinct here, it does not mean that it no longer exists, only the environment on Earth is no longer adequate for some reason for that creature. When a species goes extinct, it means that something is not right between that species and the planet. I.e., there was some imbalance that caused that change in their original state. It may be a natural process, disaster, or just an inappropriate use of their dominant races such as, notoriously, you Earthlings. The more intelligent and advanced a race is, the more care it takes in keeping the planet in harmony with all life forms that have adopted it as home. Any race that is affiliated with the Community Galactica may have access to any technology available? Not at all. Access to technology levels are related to the mental and philosophical development of each race. The range of technology allowed for a race is compatible with the era of development of the planet where that particular colony is installed. The more balanced and harmonious a society is, the greater access it has to new technologies. The vibrational frequency, or aura, of an inhabited planet can be measured and analyzed at any time. And this is a natural process of categorization of a civilization. You know when it's a place that makes you feel good and when you're in an environment where you feel heavy. This is the aura that transmits light or heavy vibration. With the planets, it is exactly the same thing. Breeds like the
Pleiadians
that I mentioned officially have no access to higher types of technology. To get them, they steal from more developed breeds. The Earth is going to have access to new technologies but, in time. First, the aura of the planet will need to be stabilized and its society harmonious and classified as stable. Mike asks, Mythi, how do you reproduce? You usually have sex as we do who are more arrears? Just out of curiosity, also, is it done for pleasure? Mike, you are not arrears, just not there yet. I was expecting that question. Well, we have two options as you do here. Eventually, we also do for pleasure. We can do physically or insemination. When our partner becomes pregnant. We go to a diagnostic center that has the technology to define the sex of the embryo prior to its formation. Approximately half of couples have one child, but, as we are two, we can have up to 2 children, as they will fill our places when we die. In any case, we can choose the sex. Depending on the need to balance the community at that time, we can have 2 boys or 2 girls or just one of each. So our population is always more or less in balance. All other races of humanoids and reptilians reproduce the same way, but the ones that lay eggs or cocoons are the descendants of only insects. And just to complete Mike's indiscretion, do you have sex between different races of humanoids? Mike, we have a different philosophy with regard to sex. We have sex only if there is a spiritual union present. The commixture of ethnicities in the universe exists and is a normal process to constitute a race, but we are of all ethnicities and compatible. Here on Earth you have different ethnicities which intersect with each other. When 2 or more communities for some reason want to live in the same colony, and if they are a related species, they can have an integration, generating cross members. There are also cases of genetic hybridization to physically improve future generations, correcting deficiencies generated by the development of a race. There are many races, including yours, I believe, out of curiosity or another instinct that I do not understand, have sex with other races even if it does not lead to any practical results. Some reptilian breeds have great interest in hybrids to develop colonies that may be considered a kind of humanoid. For a long time, they have made attempts to cross reptilians with humanoid mammals. And, maybe, are trying to do this on your planet as well, since your society is not yet officially catalogued as a homogeneous race. Mythi, what is your idea about what the universe is? The universe, as we know it, is like one of your beaches filled with sand. She cannot spot other beaches, but even so, she's not the only one. There are many universes, we just cannot see, because our reference point is still very small in the midst of our grains of sand. There are links between universes. Black holes exchange pressure with your correspondent and act as suppliers of material and energy balance for the formation of stellar systems between these universes. Your scientists will one day understand how this works. Once more, once we have improved, the more things will start to make sense. Our scientists announced the discovery of Glias 581 grams on September 29, 2010, much like Earth. It is one of 6 planets in the system around the star Glias 581, constellation Libra. Do you know if there are people there? Yes, the planet is a little larger than Earth. There exists a large reptilian colony. They have colonized all over the planet's equatorial belt. You will find, over time, thousands of habitable planets in the bands for humanoids. Many planets, even if not exactly in the correct temperature range, may have changed their characteristics with atmospheric changes. We have processes to handle the upper atmosphere to heat or cool the planet by decreasing or increasing the incidence of light and other frequencies of their sun on its surface, as well as changing barometric pressure. There are millions of planets that may be suitable. Many are being prepared to support humanoid colonies. We did that on planets where we installed our other 3 colonies. It takes time, but it works very well.